Caps for Sale, told and illustrated by Esphyr Slobodkina. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. You see all of his hats on his head? First, he had his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street, calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began feeling very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said. And he walked out of town slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He doesn't want them to fall off his head. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," he thought, as he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First, his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. How many colors of caps does he have? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different colors. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. I see something different on this page. Do you? But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. Oh no, where did they go? He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Where do you think they went? Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? I wonder what's in the tree. On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey sat a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. How silly. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking his finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their finger back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." I wonder how the peddler's feeling now. Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot. He said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." What are the monkeys doing? You're right, they're copying the peddler. By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. All the gray caps and all the brown caps and all the blue caps and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town, calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." The end.